was smiling in front of people and dying when I got home. I laughed when I needed to cry. I showed up when I should have sat down. I told everyone I was good, but I was falling apart in silence. I didn't start walking with God because life was easy. I started walking with Him because I was exhausted. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally. The sin that used to comfort me started to choke me. Weed, nicotine, lust. It stopped being an escape and started being a prison. And the crazy part is, I still tried to hold it together. Still smiled in front of people. Still acted like I was strong. But inside, I was collapsing. Nobody knew the war going on in my mind. How I would feel fine one minute, then sink into anxiety the next. How I'd pray 1 hour, then sin the next. It was like a constant tug of war between my flesh and my spirit. But somewhere in that chaos, God started calling me. Not with thunder, not with fear, but with love. He didn't shame me. He didn't yell at me. He whispered, "Come home." And when I actually started listening, everything changed. Letting go of sin wasn't easy. I had to lay down addictions I used to lean on. I had to unlearn habits I built my identity around. But the more I let go of the world, the more I started to find myself again. People around me noticed something was different. Some tried to pull me back. Some tried to tear me down. Even at work, I got attacked for no reason. But I knew what it was. It wasn't just them. It was the spirit behind them. The enemy wanted my light dimmed. But when you've met God in the dark, you don't fold the same. Because that's what this year has really been. A war over my identity. And every time I wanted to quit, every time I felt too broken, God kept reminding me, "You're not where you used to be, and I'm not done with you yet." I used to think following God meant all my problems would go away. But what I've learned is that healing doesn't always feel like healing. Sometimes it feels like losing everything you once leaned on and realizing it was never real peace to begin with. This past year, God pulled me out of everything I thought I needed. Old relationships, toxic environments, fake friendships, even my own coping habits. At first, it felt like punishment, but now I see it was protection, because I was choosing people who didn't choose me, places I didn't belong, patterns that were killing my spirit. And even when I tried to go back, it never hit the same. Because when God really marks you, you can't fit into what you were delivered from. That's what nobody talks about, the grief that comes with growth. There were nights I just sat in silence. No text messages, no invites, no distractions, just me and God. And in that stillness, I had to confront who I'd become. I had to look at the version of me that tried to survive by pretending, because deep down, I was tired of chasing approval, tired of explaining myself, tired of shrinking my light just to make others come You sense when something's off, even if nobody says a word. That's discernment. That's what God sharpened in me this year. But it came with a cost. Because the more I followed Jesus, the more I felt misunderstood, even by the people closest to me. There were moments I tried to explain what I was going through, but they couldn't hear it, couldn't hold it, couldn't handle it. And I had to learn some things are meant to be understood by God alone. That's why I kept going back to Him, not out of religion, but out of desperation, because I realized only He knows me fully. Only He sees the parts of me I've never said out loud. Only He gets what I carry, and that's what carried me through this year. Not the views, not the validation, not the applause, but knowing I'm seen by the one who made me. There's something you learn when you start healing with God. It's not just about letting go of what hurt you. It's about facing the parts of you that held onto it for so long. Because you didn't know who you were without the pain. This year taught me that I didn't realize how many wounds I buried until God started pulling them to the surface. And it wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was one quiet moment at a time. Like remembering a breakup I never really healed from, or feeling the ache of being left out again, or replaying words spoken over me by people I trusted, words that stuck deeper than I ever admitted. People called me the strong one, but they didn't see the weight I was carrying. They didn't see the nights I was up, talking to God like He was the only one who'd ever understand me. Because honestly, He was. I stopped trying to make people understand me, stopped trying to prove I was worthy, stopped trying to explain why I didn't go to that party, why I don't hang with those people anymore, why I always feel like I'm on the outside, looking in. And you know what I learned? Peace doesn't come from being understood. It comes from being known by God. That's why I started choosing stillness, choosing to be alone. Not because I hated people, but because my spirit couldn't handle being around what wasn't aligned. I used to think I was just too sensitive, but now I know that was discernment. That was the Holy Spirit showing me who was safe and who wasn't. And that gift comes with responsibility, because when you see more, you feel more. You know when someone's hurting, even when they say they're fine. You can feel someone's anger before they even speak. That kind of sensitivity used to feel like a curse, but now I see it was part of the assignment. God wasn't trying to make me soft. He was teaching me how to feel deeply and still stand strong. Because this world numbs everything. It tells you to push through, post about it, move on. But God says, "Come to me, I'll sit with you in it." And He did. When the people I thought would check in never did. When I felt invisible in rooms full of people. When I cried in silence and told no one. He was there. Every time. But it's been real. And I'd rather walk with God in pain than be surrounded by the world in fake peace. 1 year later, I'm still healing, but I'm not the same. I used to run to the world to fix what only God could reach. But now, I run to Him first. I used to ask, why does it feel like nobody understands me? Now I know, maybe they weren't supposed to. Maybe that ache wasn't abandonment, but an invitation to come closer to the one who always understands. There were moments I thought I was losing everything, but really, I was shedding everything that wasn't real. And that's the thing about walking with God. He doesn't just clean up your life. He rebuilds you from the inside out. But first, He has to break the illusion that you can do it alone, the illusion that people's validation will make you whole, the illusion that good vibes and surface-level healing will ever replace real transformation. And once that illusion shatters, you finally meet Him for real. And He meets you right in your mess. I've learned that you don't need a perfect past for God to give you a powerful future. You don't need a big platform to carry deep purpose. You don't need a perfect voice to speak truth that breaks chains. You just need a willing heart. And if you've been feeling like your life has been falling apart, maybe it's because God is clearing space for something that won't collapse this time. Something rooted, something real, something holy. Maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're right on time, right in the middle of the lesson, right in the middle of the healing. And yes, the pain is real, but so is the promise. God didn't forget you. He's forming you. He's training you. He's preparing you for what's next. So don't count yourself out just because it still hurts sometimes. Healing takes time. Obedience takes courage. But wholeness is coming. And if you've ever felt alone in this process, I need you to know you're not. I'm still healing too, but I'm healing with Him, and that changes everything.